Friday, September 13 of 2013. This is the weekend edition. This video is good until Sunday, September 15, 2013. My name is Miguel Vences and I am here covering Des Woodruff on a very, very interesting week in the stock markets that for a while there gave some technical signs of breaking down. However, it has recovered since and it continues to be bullish. And the movements today are rather moderate, but they don't really reflect what is going on in the markets. That's why the chart is so important. And we'll go to the charts in a second. But first, let's go to the scoreboard. And the Dow up 0.49%, S&P 0.27% up, Nasdaq down here 0.17%, and Russell's 0.52%. And here is the activity today. We have a slightly lower candle. Yes, a positive number, a green candle, but a lower low and a lower high. So today represents a slight pullback. But if you look at it, what it looks like it's happening in the S&P 500 for the third day, we've been trading very close to the 1690 area, which will be resistance to overcome sometime next week. But as we are forming what seems to be a sideways movement, a high base, which is a bullish formation. So this will be the first level of resistance that we need to get over starting next week if we want to continue to be bullish. Of course, yesterday I mentioned that if we continue the pullback, we would be able to draw other trend lines. Well, that's not the case. At least not yet, but something I do have to mention is that after reviewing that video, I saw that I overlooked this swing high. So if there had been a pullback to justify a new trend line, it would have been to connect this swing high with this, if this had been a swing high, which it's not. Here at Grok Trade, we are very, very picky, very specific, very technical when it comes to drawing trend lines, and the activity today does not merit a new trend line or a new swing high. Now, this is a very important chart. It is the weekly chart, and I did adjust my trend lines, and pay attention to this yellow line and this yellow line. Those are my weekly trend lines. I adjusted the trend line to fit this swing low, and now we have not so much a rising wedge, but an uptrending channel, which is a more bullish pattern. So we could be up for at least a couple of extra weeks of bullish activity, at least potentially to this area of resistance, which is the historical highs right here at the level of the 1720. Now, if we get there, that will be a very interesting place to be, because we could potentially be forming a double top. And you can find this page in our website, in our chart school, so go ahead and read. Of course, I'm not saying that is what is going to happen, but it's one of the possibilities, so you want to be prepared. If you have a few minutes, go and check that out, our chart school. Similar picture in the Dow. This is the weekly chart in the Dow. These yellow lines are my weekly lines of support and resistance. Right now, it's giving us a extremely bullish candle, and in a similar way, we're going to reach a potential double top, or at least a very important level of resistance right at the historical heights, right at the level of the 15,650 points. That will be critical resistance. Of course, also after such a big candle, and look, the closing today, it's at a very significant level of resistance. So we could see a small pullback, maybe starting the week or for the rest of the week. But either way, this will be a very important level of resistance. So both the S&P 500 and the Dow Jones are bullish, and the Nasdaq is no exception. We can see in the weekly chart that we had this bullish flag within a rising wedge. I did adjust also my weekly levels of resistance and support. This week we broke out of this bullish flag, and we have still enough space for maybe another week of bullish activity before we reach this level. And notice that we went over this very important level of resistance, the historical heights, which will be very, very important. So we could just continue to go up until we reach and we test this level of resistance. Although, since we just went over this very important level of resistance, we could just retest it now as support. So be mindful of that for next week. And the Russell, similar picture, but over way over this pink line, which is my monthly resistance. Very close to the historical heights So this will be very, very interesting to monitor. And do remember what I said about a potential double top. And that's an axiom in the markets that say that doubles hold. So even though we do have a bullish reading and a bullish candle, do keep that in mind, because this is going to be serious resistance next week. And before I finish this video, I just want to let you know that here at Grok Trade we have upcoming mentorships in Spanish, one in Mexico City, one online. So if you know anyone who's interested to learn technical analysis, how to trade, everything that has to do with trading, and they prefer to learn in Spanish, you want to send them our way. I want to thank you very, very much for being a part of Grok Trade. Have a wonderful weekend, and I'll see you here on Monday.